Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we're gonna be building our data skills. We're gonna analyze some Amazon purchasing data to see how much we're spending on Amazon. So we're gonna analyze our Amazon data using a little bit of Python programming. In this project, we're gonna see how much money we've spent on Amazon since we've subscribed to Prime. So since like the very first time we decided we wanted an Amazon membership, find out how much we pay in taxes over that period of time, and then visualize the spending habits. So to get started with that, we're gonna head over to Amazon, and then we're gonna go up to the accounts analyst, and then scroll down to the account, and then from there we go to download order reports, and then from download order reports we're gonna go with orders and shipments, and then we're gonna input the start date, so from when you want the data to be, so whether it be from January XYZ to when. So go ahead, put in the date and the end date to today, and then request the report. As you can see, I had already requested the report, and then you download it, save it to a folder, and name it whatever you want. So after you've downloaded the folder or the file, the CSV file, and named it, we're ready to start. So head over to your Jupyter notebook and open up a new notebook, and the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna import pandas as PD and import CSV. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna examine the data first, clean it, and then visualize it, and then these are the insights that we're trying to make. So I want to know the amount of money spent on Amazon, the total amount spent on Amazon, the average cost per order, the median costs per order, and the most money spent on one specific order, and the total money spent in sales tax, and the overall effective tax rate. So that's what we're gonna do today. So the first thing that I want to do is we're gonna import the CSV. So it's import pd.read, open bracket, and then we're just gonna do, and mine is called Amazon CSV, and then from there I'm gonna import the data, and then also what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna, oh my bad, I didn't import the CSV, the pandas. The hell? Oh, so it's pd.read CSV, and that should do it. And then, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go df.columns, and as you can see, these are all the columns that we have in the file. So we have the order date, the order ID, payment instruction, instrument type, website, customer email, etc., etc. We have some sensitive information. We have shipping address, zip, state, and all of that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take those out of the data frame before I pull it up, and you don't have to do that because you'll be working with your own specific data. So what I'm gonna do is just get rid of that right there. So that's gonna be the first thing that we do to clean it. So after we run it, this is what I'm gonna be left with. I'm left with the order date, the order ID, the website, shipping date, the subtotal of the order, shipping charge, tax before promotions, total promotions, tax charge, and total charge. All right. So next thing that I want to do is I want to fill in all null values if we have any. Well, no, before that, let's examine the data some more. So yes, so let's examine the data some more. So we have df.tail. So we have some none values right here. That's because it's probably the last order that I made. Let's see what the shape is like. So df.shape. So we have 37 rows, 317 rows and 10 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. So let's see how much we have that is null. We're gonna check for null values in the data frame. Overall, this is what it looks like. But let's see the sum of num values. That would give us a better insight. So it's df.isNA dot sum isNA dot sum. When we run that, we see that we have it looks like just one row of null values, which would be the 316th row, I imagine. And then let's check out the data types that we're working it with. So order date, we have a bunch of string data types, right? So from there on then, because we already have all the necessary information that we're gonna need to work with to draw the insights that we need, which is just the monetary figures. So if you look at it, what we have, well, first things first, let's fill out the null values. Let's fill them out. So let's do df equal df dot fill NA 0, and then let's get the tail. Let's check the tail. So the tail has a subtotal, shipping charge, total charge. So let's drop the tail. Let's drop the tail because since it's just the only row that we don't have. No, instead of dropping it, let's just fill it. So we're gonna fill it. So we're gonna fill it with df dot the number with 0. So as you can see, the value is now replaced with 0. Right? And then another thing that we have to observe is this right here is a string. So we can't really do anything with this because there's a string, so we can't really get the calculation. So we gotta fix that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out the $, and then after taking out the $, we're gonna convert the entire thing to a string. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create call it calls, and then from calls let's do all of this right here. So I can't be bothered, so I'm just gonna go all the way down, copy it, I believe that's what we need, and then I'm gonna paste it in calls. I believe that should be everything. So we have the subtotal, the shipping charge, the tax before promotions, total promotions, tax charge, and alright. So we create a what's it called? A list with called columns with all the necessary columns that we need to change. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write a for loop and iterate over that. So it's gonna be for call in df columns, well, calls. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go df call is equal to, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the bracket, and then I'm gonna do df call again, right? Dot as type, changed it as type string replace, and replace the string. We're gonna replace the $, but just nothing, regex equal true, and then change it to as type underscore, well, open bracket float. So what this is doing is for each column in calls, right, we're gonna replace the string here and then change it to float. So then if we do something like df.head and we run it, you should see that the figures are no longer in there. Alright, let's call the tail, seeing that the tail's right there. So if you notice, the $sign isn't in there, and now we're working with strings, right? So with that being said, we're able to calculate the values that we need. So let's go and name this calculating the total amount right? So what we need is the total amount spent on Amazon, the average order cost, the median order cost, and the most money spent on an order. So to get the total, all we need is this total chart, so the sum of this particular column. So what it's gonna be df total chart, and then we just call the sum method on it, and then that's gonna give us 14,197. That's a lot. This is data coming back from 2015, and the year is now 2023. Alright, so what we need now is the average cost. So the average cost is gonna be the average cost per order. So it's gonna be an average of this. So it's gonna be df dot total charge once again, and then it's just gonna be mean. That's gonna be $44.78. So the average ad spend on an order roughly is $45. Let's go with that, and let's go for the median value now. So once again, median value of the total charge, we call the median $24.99. So that's our outlier. Now so we got the total charge, so we already have the maximum value, I mean the amount of money that we spent on Amazon. So that's gonna be 14,197.03. Let's go with that. That's our value. Alright? The mean, which is the average, is gonna be it's gonna be 44.79. So let's go 44.79. And the median is gonna be 24.99. So let's just round it up to 25. No, I'll keep it 24.99. So it's 24.99, and so we already got we're already halfway through. So let's figure out what the maximum money spent on an order was. So it's df dot, well, not df, but open bracket and total charge once again. Dot max $845.39. So that's the most I've ever spent on an Amazon purchase. That's not a lot, I imagine, unless, you know, given if it was one particular item or just like a bunch of stuff. Maybe it was a TV or something. And then what's the next one? The total money spent on taxes, so which is this column right here. So it's tax charge, and we just call it sum function, which is $578.12. So we're just gonna put that right here. 578.12. There we go. So the next thing that we're gonna have to find is the overall effective tax rate, which is the sum of the tax charge divided by the total charge sum. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do this, copy paste, divided by the total, and then we're gonna multiply that by 100%. 4% and 4.07%. So we're gonna go 4.07% is our effective tax rate. This is in the wrong place, so let's delete this. So now we're gonna go ahead and visualize the data. That way we can have a better understanding of what's going on. But before, so what I need to do is we're gonna have to plot a bar graph. This bar graph is gonna show us the total amount we spent per day. So before we can do that, we need to change the order date to a date time object. So to do that, what we need to do is we're gonna go df order date is equal to pd dot to underscore date time, and then we're just gonna pass the column through it. And then if we call the head, we see that the order date has changed to a datetime object. So now that that's done, we're gonna visualize the data. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to plot a bar graph. So I'm going to go df.plot bar graph, and the X is gonna be the order date. The Y is gonna be total charge. ROT is equal to 90. Fig size is equal to 20, 10. Right? And then let's see what that gives us. So we got this messy looking thing right here. Believe it or not, this is the order. This is a graphical representation of every single order that was made. So what that means is, say I made 5 different orders on January 2. There's gonna be 5 individual bars within here for January 2. So we don't want that. We want to group them by the date itself, right? So to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go daily orders, right? And then equals tf.group by, and then I'm gonna group by the order date, and then I'm just gonna sum that, right? So when I sum that now, that brings all the, if there's more than one order sharing the same order date, then it's gonna sum that, and it's gonna sum it on the total charge. So if I go, well, it doesn't make any sense, but if I did daily orders and then just call the head, you'd see now each day would have its own total, right? But you can't really see it because of the way how the graph is, because the graph is so busy, because it's data stemming back from 2015 all the way back to 2022. So, but if I plot the daily orders, right? If I plot the daily orders, fig size equal 20, 10. I don't know if you can tell, but the graphs are a little bit different. That's because now it's grouped by the days themselves. So then let's look at, so now we've gotten an idea of how to graphically represent it. But let's say I want to be like, all right, so I want to see how much money I've spent on Amazon on a year-to-year basis, right? So each year, how much money did I spend? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna group it by the year instead. So yearly orders, right? And then let's go df.group by, we're grouping by the data frame. We're grouping by the column order date. Dot dt.year, right? So we group in the order date by year, right? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, after I group it by the year, same sum, and then total charge. All right. And then now if I call it, if I call the order years, you'll see how much money I spent on each year. So each year so 2015 I spent $166.81 on Amazon. 2016 was 671, and so on. So let's represent that into a graph. So essentially it's just the same thing right here. I'm just calling the yearly. Alright. And you can see graphically it's illustrated. So the year which we spent the most amount of money was 2022, which was a whopping $4,937. And the year that we spent the least was our initial year, which was $166.81. So we can from that we can say 2022 we spent the most. On Amazon at, let's see, the figure was boom, right? And then we can say 2015 we spent the least. Which was $166.81. And those were the insights that we got. So let me just put a comma right here so it looks nice. And boom. So let's see. Yeah, so then that's the end of the project. There's a lot more stuff you can do with it. You can see how much you spent on a month to month basis for a specific year. Or yeah, so like say in 2022, you know, we could have gotten we could have a deeper look into 2022, see, all right, which months did we spend the most money, you know, and then from there we can get some outside data and probably figure out what was all that money spent on in terms of like what were we buying that year, right? So there's a lot more stuff you can do with this data set. So it's just a nice little way how to, you know, get your hands in doing some data work, some data analysis work, some exploratory data analysis. If you like the video, you know, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You know, it does help out the channel. If you have any comments on the way how it was delivered, you know, feel free to mention it down below. Any questions, queries, qualms, you know, if you have any faults in the way how it was presented, you know, i.e. probably like the audio, or, you know, my explanations weren't too good, you know, just feel free to make a comment down below. It really helps out the channel. And yeah, so that's it for the video.